Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry in Spring Creek Park in the city of Tomball, Texas, which is 33 miles northwest of downtown Houston. The city has a population of about 12,000 people. However, it seems to be more because it is right next to Houston. And the reason I'm here is because they have in the park a free RV hookup RV park. The only free RV park in Texas that is out of the Northwest Texas area. And if you were following me this last summer, I went to all of our free RV parks in Northwest Texas, and I think there was about 20 of them. And then going up north to the central and northern states, and I was at 45 RV park locations in the central states where that have free RV hookups. But they are all different than the one here, probably because it's close to a big city like Houston. So I'll tell you the details of that. So let me show you around Spring Creek Park. It is a very nice park that they have here. And the big difference between this free hookup RV park and the others that I've been to is that here they require reservations, while the other locations don't even have a reservation system. Now, I found if you call that number that I never could get anybody to answer the phone. But they do have a good online reservation system. There are 8 spaces here, and there's one vacancy here unless that car is reserving it for somebody. And one of the problems with requiring reservations for something that's free, and here's another space that's vacant. And the problem is, if somebody later decides they're not going to come, then they're probably not going to bother to cancel their reservation. I admit I've done that myself a couple of times in the past, where it seems like the trouble to cancel the reservation is just not worth your time. All of the spaces here are full hookup, and I really like this kind of pole they have here. The power pole, they have 20, 30, 50 amp, and this is a light fixture, so if you pull in after dark, that helps you find where to plug in. And then there's a water faucet on the side of the pole, and then a dump station right there, and each space has its own trash basket. I guess you'd call that a trash barrel. And there are a few picnic tables and barbecue grills around the RV parking area. Over here they have some kind of a special event going on. And I like that the spaces are level and you get to park on concrete. Very little gravel around here. Streets are all paved through the park. It's some kind of a fun run, I think. Let me show you some of the recreational facilities around the park. There's a sand volleyball court with bleachers for all your fans to watch how well you play. And there is a couple tennis courts. This is a pavilion that you can make a reservation to use, and if you have a lot of trash, there's the dumpsters. That was a small pavilion, and here's a much larger one right next to the children's playground. This is in Spring Creek County, and over here is 6 basketball nets. They don't like rollerblades, skateboards, or bicycles. More playground equipment and picnic tables. And back here in the woods is, guess what? Spring Creek, which seems to me to be a little too modest of a creek to name the whole county after. Although I'm sure it would fill up after a heavy storm. But for now, no swimming. And an archery range is a rare feature in any city park. And what a surprise, they have rules. And you have 12 targets to pick from. And 10 sets of targets already set up for you.
Good targets too. 6 votes sometimes.
There you go.
That turkey is scared. I think all of them are surrounding it right now. Ooh!
When I was here yesterday, this field was filled up with football players. There's some people here. And of course they have disc golf. And you'll never guess what this lot used to be used for. It actually was a cemetery. Now it's just a picnic area. But here are the details about it. And it says the cemetery is located on a high hill adjoining the northeast corner of the county Spring Creek Park, which is this. This is the high hill. I never would have guessed. It doesn't say, but I assume they moved the graves to a cemetery somewhere else. Otherwise, I could be walking on the top of somebody's grandma here. You know what, folks? This is really an ideal RV park for me. Just the right amount of spacing between units, full hookups, it's level, you get to park on concrete. It's just perfect. And I don't need all the other facilities that $30, $40, $50, $60 a day RV parks have. And right across from me is this restroom shower building. So let me show you the inside of the men's. 2 stand up, 2 sit down, 3 sinks and mirrors, and a hand dryer. Nice. And here is the showers, and they gave me a code to key in, 0469. Let's see if that works. Yeah. So there's 1, 2 showers and a place to sit. It's a nice, big, well-maintained park. You're not usually going to get all this commotion with that fun run they got going there. When I pulled in, I did not check with the park attendant because I didn't know where to go to do that. But after I was here for just a half an hour, one of the park attendants pulled up and knocked on my door and asked to check for my reservation. So they do know who's coming and going. I just noticed they have a really big fire pit here. If it's a cold evening and you're into that. Well, now let me go into my computer and show you how to make a reservation. One thing I wanted to tell you about Houston is that they have a lot of toll roads. All of these colored roads are toll roads, and there is Tomball, northwest of downtown Houston, you see, and getting across Houston or getting to a certain place, it's really hard to avoid the toll roads. Now, the tolls are not terribly expensive. The problem is that there are no toll booths to stop and pay your tolls. So they take a photo. There's cameras all over the roads that take pictures of people's license plates, and then they send you a bill in the mail. And a toll will be like $1.50, and then they add on a $10 billing fee, and then you mail a check back to them. So with the toll, the billing fee, and a postage stamp, a $1.50 toll becomes a $12 cost to you. Now, if you're going to be in Houston for a while, you might want to set up a prepaid toll account. And then whenever you have a toll, it just takes the toll out of your account. So if you know you're going to be hitting some of these tolls, it's best to first set up a account with your license plate number, and you can add multiple vehicles to that. That way you don't have to pay those billing fees. Now, one more thing about Spring Creek Park is that one way it's different from the other free hookup parks that I was at this summer is that at all of those locations there's nobody to check in with, and you can show up any time of the day you want. You can leave any time of the day you want. But here in Spring Creek Park, check-in time is noon, check-out time is 10 a.m. and they have somebody come by to make sure you're not overstaying. So the Spring Creek Park, RV park, is more like a regular RV park. It's kind of managed that way, with the one difference is that the daily rate for RV camping is $0. So this is the website address you want to go to, and down here it says that overnight camping is offered at no cost to the public, and you can camp up to 7 continuous nights per month, and reservations can be made up to 3 months in advance. So what you want to do on this page is click on here, online request form. Then you fill in all of these details here, and then they email you asking for a copy of your driver's license and some form that you have to sign and send back to them either by postal or by email if you scan it in and then email it back to them. And then finally they email you back again confirming your reservation. So making a reservation here is going to take at least a week to get all of the information back and forth that they want. So they don't make it easy at all. And if you know a certain date that you really want to be there, then as soon as that 3-month period opens up where you can make a reservation for a certain date, I would get online and grab it. Otherwise, somebody else is going to get it with only these 8 spots, especially if it goes across a weekend. Because weekends go pretty fast. If you're reserving just for a few days midweek, well, it could be like Sunday to Thursday, then it's much easier to get than any weekend. And again, don't count on doing it over the phone. I reserved for a whole week, so it made it worth my while. And other than the hassle of the making the reservation with 3 or 4 different things going back and forth, then it's really worth it. Like I said, it's a really nice place, as you can see. Good day, folks.